Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, February 7th, 2022. Time is now 7:03. First item on the agenda, we can discuss mail orders to be signed and meeting minutes to approve. Do you want to save these till the end?
I did two of the meeting minutes.
Okay, I believe we have everybody on at 7, so I would prefer if we take them at the end.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And hopefully we can move along quickly through the agenda. You good with that? Okay, good. Mark, you good?
I'm good.
Okay. So first item on the agenda is 7 PM, public hearing, continued notice of intent, Shore Road Lot 299, parcel 7.16, Cliff Van Reed. And I believe you guys went on the site walk and they are requesting a continuance. I see Margaret on. If you want to do name and address, Margaret?
For the record, Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and yeah, we did do a site walk, but it wasn't for this lot.
Yeah.
So basically, I would just still would like to ask for a continuance on this lot until we get some in regarding the drainage.
So the 7th or the 21st?
How about the 21st?
I'll entertain a motion to continue to the March 21st meeting.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monson, aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Mark Mungem, aye.
TG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
So March 20, so we have continued that a few times. Steve?
Yeah.
Do you know when this public hearing was opened for Shore Road Lot 299? I wouldn't be able to recall because I wasn't actively in it.
No, everyone would
In the summer.
This summer or last summer? Was it one summer ago or 2 summers ago?
This summer. It was this,
It was open
I want to say June.
June 7th.
Oh, good. Okay. So I don't know if we can't really tidy this up or if the drainage isn't resolved by then, I think we should probably withdraw and re-advertise and re-notify. Been like 10 months? No.
Is that the span of time? No, agreed.
Yeah.
But like, is there?
I don't know. Steve,
Is there a
any
policy?
thoughts?
Well, it's usually up to the applicant. I believe if it goes dormant where they needed 6 months, then you can request a continuance and it would have to, you keep the same DEP number, but
Yeah.
it'd have to be advertised and re-notified.
So if it goes beyond March,
And this probably is not going to get
it's been
resolved
more-
anytime soon
yeah, so, okay.
with the drainage ongoing situation on Shore Road.
Okay. Mark,
I'd have to look it up, but I think the way it usually goes is that you can continue to a date certain, or a date that you're not too sure of what it's going to be in the future because you're waiting for information. And when that information comes on, then you have to re-advertise and re-notify and let everybody know that, okay, in August of 2022, we're going to reopen the hearing and continue it. So you don't withdraw it.
yeah, right.
It kind of goes dormant.
Okay. Margaret, thoughts?
I'd have to look up the proper procedure in the MACC handbook. We did it maybe 15 years ago,
Oh.
project like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. Let's just continue it to the 21st and then make that decision then.
Okay, yeah, and we'll get the handbook advice on it.
Okay.
But I'm thinking it's dormant because nothing new has been presented or submitted for a while, right?
We're waiting on others. So.
Yeah, no, I understand, but just for the public to have participation, because maybe someone thinks that it's been withdrawn, since nothing's happened, so. All right, sounds good. We'll see you on the 21st. Thank you. 7 PM, time is now 7:08. Public hearing, continued notice of intent, 74 Main Street Family Convenience Center, proposed fuel station and convenience store. Possible votes.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So Rob Luce here, CMG. Where do we begin? So I believe at the last meeting, we were discussing just some outlying items. So regarding riverfront area and peer review comments and drainage report also had some revisions. So we ended up addressing the peer review comments and resubmitted, I believe it was the Wednesday after the last meeting. And actually at 5 o'clock today, we received a response from McCarty Engineering to our peer review comments. So I don't believe the commission has seen that yet since it was at 5 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, no,
So,
we don't have those in our packet.
yeah.
I have them in the Google Drive, I know.
I breezed through them quickly, and I can go over some of that stuff soon. I guess I wanted to first just address some of the items that we submitted, if that makes sense to the commission. Yeah. So I know one of the biggest items that we really wanted to pin down from the last meeting was the riverfront analysis, the alternatives analysis. So we tried to beat that up more, to be more in line with the regulations, because it seemed like we were not, we weren't as descriptive as we should have been.
Yes.
So we added more items in there. I hope the commission had a chance to take a look. We included a few sketches, basically looked at some properties of common ownership, and then also looked at some commercial properties in Douglas and kind of explained why this seems to be the most feasible option that we went with. I don't know if there are any.
Was anything submitted to DEP? Was that report, the revised report submitted to DEP?
Yes, we sent
Okay.
an electronic copy.
Okay. Did you get a
And
response?
paper copy. We did not receive.
When did you send it to them?
That would have been the day we submitted, so it would have been the Wednesday after that Monday, the
Okay.
Wednesday after. the
2
Wednesday.
Wednesdays ago?
Correct.
Okay,
So,
all right.
26.
Yeah, because they're pretty concerned with meeting the regulation for the riverfront.
Absolutely.
If they say it's okay, then,
yep,
you know, they're really scrutinizing the projects now. So I think we can safely say that there are no other alternatives, in my opinion.
okay. And I can reach out, I believe the contact is Thomas Rabula at DEP, so I can reach out to him just to verify, but, so that was the riverfront analysis portion.
Okay.
Regarding the peer review comments, like I said, we received that at 5 o'clock today, so it's all pretty new information. Pretty much everything was addressed. There's one item on here that, looking at it, it's a bit of a concern the comment is a concern, but I would like to just add some clarification to it, if that's okay.
Yeah, we don't even have a copy.
Okay.
So,
Basically, the
sure,
two-
you can read to us.
Sure thing. So if you remember from the initial peer review letter, there was two pretty, I would say, bigger issues, and that was regarding the dynamic field sizing count, which were in the checklist. So we inadvertently checked that box. We actually used the static method. Nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but it's not very common to use the dynamic field method for sizing. So we ended up changing that. Not an issue. There was some TSS removal calcs. They agree with what we said. Item was addressed. There was one item in here. It was regarding the 8.27 inches per hour Rawls rate. So when we did the soil testing, we all agreed that it was sand. On the soil logs, it was listed as loamy sand. Now, I believe that is a typo, but those are the soil.
Super important.
It's very important. So the good news is there was about 20 people on the site when we did the soil testing. There was us, there was the soil tester, there's the Board of Health, there's also the peer reviewer for the planning board, which it wasn't McCarty, it was Leonard Engineering. So I'm going to get confirmation from them, but I know we all left the site saying this is sand. The 2014 soil test for the septic also said it was sand. So I just need to make sure that I have the documentation.
Okay.
So that, it seems like a very large item, and I know McCarty wasn't on site when we did the soil
Well, yeah,
testing.
yeah.
So,
How would they know?
exactly. They
Okay.
would know by the information we gave them, which was stated as loamy sand. So,
Yeah.
so they're just doing their job. Being
Yes.
very thorough.
That was a good catch on
Yep,
their part.
absolutely.
Yes.
So there are a
we
few
agreed
other
to
items
review.
on here, but really nothing of major concern. Everything was pretty much addressed. That was just the big item.
Okay. Yeah, and you have planning board on Thursday,
Absolutely.
and we stay open until planning board closes anyway.
Okay.
So as long as the stormwater issue gets straightened out.
Yep.
Board, do we have any comments or questions? Eric? No? No, 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 no.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, so I think as far as this board's concerned, as long as you send DEP a complete edited, revised version, whatever is the final version to address their concerns.
Okay.
I think that once we get the final plan date from planning board, then we'll be able to take care of our end
Okay.
of that.
And I'm planning to track down that soil information before the Thursday meeting, so we'll have information. There was one other thing too, I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no?
So there was a comment in here too, I meant to bring it up at the last meeting. It was regarding the Town of Douglas Wetland Protection Bylaw fee, the worksheet. So, well, I'll read the comment. This is from the peer reviewer. Within the Town of Douglas Wetland Protection Bylaw fee calculation worksheet, the area of land disturbance within the 100-foot buffer shall be included in the filing fee, which is 4 cents times the square of land within the 100-foot buffer. So I guess that wasn't included,
Okay.
which we can include that, submit another check. I think
Yep.
it's like a little over $200.
That would be
So-
perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
so I reached out to Steve, he said, let's bring it up at the meeting, so
Yep,
if that's,
that sounds correct.
okay. So I apologize that that wasn't included originally.
That's okay.
So,
It's all right. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have questions or comments regarding this hearing for 74 Main? Nothing, nothing, nothing. Would you like the 7th, March 7th?
yeah, I was gonna, whenever the next meeting is,
Okay.
accommodate us.
Oh, yeah. You'll be on first.
Okay, that- perfect.
And if not, then I'll move you to first because I promised you, so.
You're too kind, thank you.
Because everybody's on at 7, so
I see.
technically I can pick.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Well, thank you very much.
no problem. So I'll entertain a motion to continue to March 7th at 7.
So move.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Buntman, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mungin, aye.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, see you Thursday.
Just one note for the applicant, if you get a final plan, just send us the final plan with the final plan date so we can finalize the order. I'll try to have it prepped for the next meeting.
Sure thing, can do that.
Yeah, that would be excellent, Steve, thank you.
That'll be good. If there's anything outstanding at the planning board meeting, we'll address.
Quick plan change.
Yep.
I don't think
Absolutely.
you're gonna need any. All right,
All right, thank you very much,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Have a great night.
thanks, you too. Bye-bye. Okay, next item, 7 PM, public hearing continued, notice of intent, 718 Whiten Reservoir Dam Operation and Maintenance Manual, Whiten Reservoir Watershed District. Anyone here on behalf of the applicant, name and address?
Yes, can you hear me? I think I might be muted.
We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, great. It shows up on the screen as being muted. Hi, I'm Lauren Gluck from Park Corporation. And here with me are Matt Belisle from Park Corporation, as well as Paul Collette from the Whiten Reservoir Watershed District. I think my screen happens to be frozen. Otherwise, I would have shared screens with you. Maybe it will come back. Can you still hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Still, yeah, okay. Well, my display is frozen, so I'm
Well,
trying.
Dean, if you don't need permission to share screen, so if cable can give permission, then that'd be great. So while they're doing that, we did receive your response letter today, and I put a copy in everyone's package. I put just the response letter. I didn't pick out the 25 pages of supporting documents, but that is in the file that's at the desk, if anyone wants to look at that too.
We have a copy. Oh,
Okay.
the full,
Or if you're still having trouble sharing, I can share my screen.
Okay, I think I might, it's letting me click the button now, so let me just give this a quick try. Let's see here, screen one, share. Okay. So I'm just pulling up the response to comments document. And so the last time we discussed this project, it was January 3rd. We gave the presentation on the O&M manual, and we were contingent upon receipt of a DEP file number. So since that time, we did receive the file number as well as comments from DEP and NHESP, which came in on January 21st. And at that point, we requested to continue the January 4th hearing so that we could have some time to formulate some responses to the natural heritage comments. So I don't know if you need us to go back through any details of the O&M manual. I think we addressed most of the commission's concerns during the last meeting, but if you'd like, I could go through all of the comments received by DEP and NHESP and our responses to those comments, if that would be helpful.
okay, so you submitted this today? The response?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, February 7th.
What? Yeah.
February 7th.
Okay.
This today.
Probably 5 o'clock.
Do we want to go through each item or, so you sent this response letter to DEP and Natural Heritage today also?
Yes, I did. So
Okay.
I sent it electronically this morning. I sent
Okay.
it to the central and then NHESP, I actually got an auto reply from the reviewer that she will be on vacation for the next 2 weeks, returning the week of the 18th, she'll be off, today through the week of the 18th.
Okay. So is there a time frame that this needs to gain approval? Will anything be affected? You've got the spring fill and all that. What's your timeline for work to be done here?
So what we're planning on discussing that tonight is that the NHESP's major concern seems to be with the next cycle of drawdown with this Tuckerman's Pond weed that's mounted in the town. However, there are maintenance items and refill of the pond that will need to occur this coming spring. And so we were hoping that perhaps the commission would be agreeable to closing the hearing and accepting the manual as is with the future drawdown contingent upon NHESP's final review and comment. They had some requests such as completing an aquatic vegetation survey specific to this species. We have actually submitted with our response to comments some aquatic vegetation surveys that had been done in past years by the district. They were not specifically targeting this, this pond weed species. However, it was a comprehensive look at all of the species that were found in the pond. So we're providing those to Natural Heritage and requesting that perhaps they would accept that documentation as sufficient to say this plant was not found there in 2021, nor was it found in previous years. They may still ask for the survey to be done, but that's something that would need to be done during the growing season anyway, and be sorted out, you know, once we're able to do that and submit those findings prior to the fall.
Okay, so I guess if I ask it a different way, what tasks are needed to be done at this moment or moving towards spring for maintenance? Is there anything that is pressing that actually needs to be completed before the refill?
There is nothing that is scheduled to be completed prior to the refill. The refill would be the next activity that would need to occur at the dam and at the reservoir.
Okay, thank you.
Who was that?
Name and address, sir?
I'm
Can't
Matt
see
Bell with Park Corporation.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we need to wait for the
Yeah.
commenter, the 2 weeks. I would suggest the March 21st. If there's an emergency, we can always give some sort of emergency. But I don't think the applicant's saying that there's no tasks that are pressing to be completed by the refill. I think we should just continue along. These guys had very detailed comments that I think we need to get those addressed and make sure that they're satisfied with the feedback. And I don't know if they're going to accept that aquatic study, so.
Just from a schedule standpoint, the refill does typically begin in April so that we
Yep.
can take advantage of the spring runoff.
Yep.
So, anything we can do, but we understand the desire to let Natural Heritage look at our responses and make
Yeah.
some decisions.
Yeah, I think we can meet that April. I think Steve can prepare the order for the March 21st meeting. And if everyone has signed off and is satisfied, then we can vote and close it, vote and sign it that night. You could pick it up on the 22nd.
Great. Sounds like a great plan.
Right, Steve?
That's correct.
Okay.
Can I ask one question?
One moment, I'm just going to the board first. Do we have any questions for the applicant? No. Mark,
No question.
you want to look at that before you comment?
Okay.
Okay, all right, sir, name and address?
Yeah, Paul Cutler, like
Comments to their
District
report.
Chair, 150 Northwest Main. We usually start our refill like March 1st, as soon as we have clear, no ice at all in the reservoir. So will we be precluded from doing that until the next meeting, or?
I don't think the scope of the maintenance and operations agreement, I would have to think about that. I mean, your order is already expired. So, maybe the applicant's representative can go over any foreseeable issues. Because the second comment is demonstrate adequate downstream flows maintained to the outlet during the spring refill. And you've addressed that, and you do the monthly reports.
And those reports have been forwarded to the commission during the previous years and during the previous refills. So through their previous actions, I think the commission has demonstrated an ability to regulate and maintain those downstream flows during the refilling process.
Yeah, Steve,
Yep.
sorry, could you confirm that they started the refill March 1st every year?
Well, we'd have to, I would have to look, they give quarterly, what they give is quarterly information on their outlet flow numbers and how much is that right? How much the gate is open. And with there's a chart that correlates with the flow rate in the head, and it kind of calculates how much cubic feet is coming out into the stream. And that's what they submit quarterly every year.
Yeah, but actually, we submit it monthly to you.
Or monthly.
Quarterly format, but it's updated monthly.
Right. So I would have to look at those charts. Yeah, I guess Paul would know better, you know.
Yeah, as soon as we ice out, our former manual says, March 1st, if ice conditions allow. And we don't want to be raising it with ice at all on the reservoir.
Yeah.
And those nomographs are exactly what Steve mentioned. They're based upon the pond elevation, the number of inches that the low-level outlet is opened or closed, and the amount of flow over the spillway during those time of years. So the nomographs can be utilized to both determine how much the gate can be closed during the refilling process to maintain the base flow that we're looking for, and also how far it has to be opened during the dry season to maintain the minimal base flows that were identified within these questions. Both of those were responded to and provide direct reference back to the operations and maintenance manual. Those operations have not changed during the renewal of this manual. That nomograph has proven itself to be effective and accurate.
Okay. I don't see anything preventing the refill. If you're not actually doing any activities except for the movement of the water that you've always done historically. Board. There is some refill concerns, but
You had talked about dam repair and mortaring, I thought, earlier. Is that not happening this spring?
The previous notification through the RDA that the district made was to do some repair to the parapet walls along the top of the dam as a result of a vehicular accident and impact. That work has been completed under that work. The maintenance work that's identified within this operations and maintenance manual would be ongoing. It's not targeted to a specific location at this time. It would be as a result of the annual inspections identifying loose or cracked mortar that needed to be repaired, or that the dive inspection indicated significant loss of mortar below the water line. So that's what the maintenance of the mortar and the masonry within the O&M is to reference. Again, not a specific targeted location at this time.
okay. I mean, it's a tough one. Did you want to say any comments?
Oh, no, it's just that I had comments to the operation and maintenance manual that I hadn't submitted yet, and now this letter gives me additional comments, and I will try and get those sent out tonight. But primarily, it's just the nature of the operations and maintenance manual should be updated to address these comments.
As a new revised version.
Yep.
Think you're muted.
The comments that we received from DEP and Natural Heritage, most of those did not require a revision to the document. We'll review the comments that you said you were going to forward to us tonight. We'll take a look at those and see if the information is included. If a revision is necessary, we can submit an updated page to the document for insertion prior to the next hearing.
Okay.
All right, so I would still suggest, well, actually, March 7th. Month.
Yeah, I mean, it's early
It's a
enough
month,
in March.
yeah, yeah,
I
Yeah.
can't see that it would be an issue
Yeah.
to wait till that meeting.
yeah. Well, it probably won't, nothing much would happen between the 6 days.
Yeah, I think that's a good compromise.
Can we wait till March 8th for the refill, the start of the refill?
The ice conditions might not allow for it to happen till then anyway.
Right.
Looking at the ice today, very much will be iced out by then. But like I said, March 1st is the earliest we've ever started.
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
You know,
Could we request the March 8th?
I don't see that being a problem. I don't want to wait till April.
okay.
That-
Yeah.
that could be not actually.
I think I misspoke. I thought we were later in the month.
No, it's on the
2
7th.
weeks. Yeah, so our next hearing would be March 7th, so that would give the commenter enough time. And then if you could just hold to March 8th, if it is a possibility, till after our meeting, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, but
thank you, appreciate
We
it.
wouldn't do anything, like I said, ice conditions, I think it's highly unlikely.
Okay. We can always hope,
Real weather.
and the groundhog.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this hearing? Name and address. No? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we continue this hearing to March 7th
At 7 PM.
at 7 PM.
Motion made by Art, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, we'll see you March 7th. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next item. Next item on the agenda, it's 7 PM, public hearing, continued notice of intent, 280 U Street, new single-family dwelling, Evan Tatro, possible votes, it's 7:35. In your packet, you have a notice from DEP. And we do have a DEP number now. And applicant's representative, name and address for the record.
Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here representing Evan Tatro, single-family house lot at 280 U Street.
Thank you. Do you want to go through the DEP's comments?
Well, I actually, I haven't received the comments yet. I was on their website this afternoon, and I didn't see a DEP number, so,
It was emailed to mbacon@civilsiteengineering.com
when?
at today at 3:28 PM.
I was in the office till 5, and I didn't see it come in.
Okay, well,
So,
what?
earlier today, looking for a DEP file number.
Yeah, and they responded to you with the DEP file number. They said, although a file number is being issued, please note the following. So,
My inbox, but if you want to go over the comments.
yeah, Steve, could you shoot her the email over to her email, please? Thank you. So one comment is, if a stream channel is present within the BVW on either side of the proposed driveway at the location of the proposed 12-inch culverts, the applicant should confirm that the culverts will meet the mass stream crossing standards. If these standards are not met with the current design, a larger culvert should be proposed. Did you submit the information for that sizing?
No, I wouldn't really say there was a stream channel crossing there. I do know right now when the water is up, the water flows from that isolated wetland on the right-hand side down into the lower end. I wouldn't really call it a stream channel.
Okay, and then there's a potential vernal pool within the additional wetlands north from Flag 1. Well, you can read it now, so.
Okay, it's gotta be down further in the woods more,
Yeah, wherever the mass mapper has it.
okay. Well, we're not doing any work down in that area.
They're,
Pretty much-
yeah, they'd like to make sure that the septic system's located more than 100 feet from the potential vernal pool, which may qualify as an outstanding resource water, which I don't know, never seen that before. Is that a new definition, Steve?
One's that,
Outstanding resource water? Never heard of that.
It's outstanding.
In the field? So verify whether a BVW or buffer zone is present within the location of the proposed house and septic system from that potential vernal pool.
I'd say we're well beyond,
Okay. It just says verify whether it's present.
okay, I'd have to locate it with the survey crew. I'm sending the survey crew back out there to do a little more topo next week anyway, so I'll just, we'll get it then and put it on the plan. Would that suffice?
Yeah, I mean, if it's 110 feet, yeah, probably. If it's 200, no. It's,
Conduct that it's greater than,
yeah.
okay.
So, and then the erosion control construction limit line shown within the BVW on both sides of the driveway. The location of this limit within the wetlands indicates that the BVW may be cleared or otherwise altered during construction.
So,
If work will not occur within the wetlands, these lines should be corrected on the site plans.
okay, just tighten up the erosion control.
Yep, so that it's clear
Yep.
on the plans
Okay,
to encompass the BVW. Yeah, and then the last one was performance standards for work within the resource area, but we're not doing any impacts, right?
correct.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Doesn't it seem like?
Yeah,
we got a lot
'cause,
of these- We get a lot of these on the day we meet.
I know, right? But it's, yeah.
Suddenly it becomes enough of a
It's an
priority.
engineer thing. No, it's an
No,
engineer,
it's
the last
true.
day.
Yeah, no,
That's what
absolutely.
happens.
But
I don't
it's
have time
every
for it
single-
until it's due.
Every single project is the last day.
Last day.
Of every,
Everything.
yeah.
Everyone else is like me then.
Yes,
what I do.
yes,
Put it off.
yes, exactly. You're like, oh, that's due tomorrow. It's like your homework. So, yeah, I don't know if they're not really acknowledging that there's an existing cart path, but maybe that's what's kind of driving the last comment. So, we have the DEP number. You guys did the site walk.
Yep.
I mean, simply verify it, we could put in a condition to verify that there's no additional work. Or from that north flag, so
Oh, it's on there.
there's a potential vernal pool. Where's the house? Yeah,
There.
there's a potential vernal pool
Steve, can you
somewhere
pull
over
up the
here.
plan?
Somewhere in this
on the
vicinity.
screen?
Yeah,
Okay.
you could do the math.
Should be a copy.
No, I get it.
To your left too, Mark. Right in front of Katie Grace, there should be a copy of the plan too.
Oh,
Pull it up.
Yeah, but, need a mass map. Let me look. I'll do mass map.
so how far away do they think the vernal pool is?
How do you actually flag a vernal pool in the wintertime?
It's on the screen here.
Oh, I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
do mass mapper.
Right, but the vernal pool is somewhere in this vicinity.
Can't quite 280. Okay, there we go.
As mentioned, I'm going out there, if it's dry enough, next week to do some more additional topo. I can locate it at that time and just
No, I wouldn't know where it's Vernal.
show the document how far that is away from the proposed septic and house.
Okay, 1 second.
I think we're going to be well over 100 feet away, but I can verify that.
Do you want to condition it?
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm trying, that's what I'm thinking. I just, Steve, could you pull it up on Mass Mapper? I'm trying to use my cell phone.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Really, thank
Yep,
you.
hang on 1 second.
Yeah, so, it's right there. It's like a lot bigger wetland than, can you minimize that a little bit?
Yeah. That's the whole wetland. That's, well, so here's the little, is it, it's there?
Yeah.
So it's off to the, it's off the lot. It's off to the left.
All right, so,
You zoom into that one.
Yes, I can.
let me go to U Street here.
So it's right there.
And I'll put the,
Well, it's in this corner.
Mass Jazz, it's at the Vernal Pool.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, what's the
Yeah,
scale
it's-
on the locus map?
1,000. Not to scale.
Thanks
see
so
it?
much. NTS, no, thank you so much. So,
Yeah, it's off the
it's off,
back left corner.
It's somewhere
in the
in
rear.
here.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is, it's
Yeah,
off the lot line,
I
so
think it's
like
on
here-ish.
Suzanne Lucier's. Yeah.
Should be coming, it's not coming up.
It's like
It is coming up.
half the width, oh, wait, why is this?
Oh, you didn't go to Mass Mapper.
It shows Vernal Pools on the town of Douglas GIS.
Okay.
Wait, it's off this lot line.
Oh, it's over
The
here.
house, and then the septic's behind it, and the driveway's this way.
It's a different piece of property.
So this is the house, and the thing is behind it, so the vernal pool
That's the lot.
is off
Oh, this
this
is a
lot
lot.
line.
You see this dot right here? Let me put a circle
Because
around
if
it.
you go up to where those, you don't have a
This isn't
house,
right here.
because the house is not real, okay. Not yet, but I'm just saying, if you look at the. It's lost forever.
I feel like we could condition this on
The
verifying.
vernal pool is off of the corner, like the closest point to the pool is the corner of the driveway, not the
Yeah.
septic. Right? So
Yes.
it's really, the closest point to the pool is here. The pool is actually somewhere in this region.
Correct. And what do you
Looks
have?
right,
You have,
Tracy, it's right here.
This is
Okay.
50.
yep.
Well, this is,
So this is the cart path through here.
it could, I don't think it could be within 100
So it's up there.
to the
Yeah,
septic. It could be
yeah.
within 100 to the edge of the driveway.
Yeah.
This plan doesn't show the wetland wrapping around the lot, like it looks like it does on,
So look at, right, the vernal pool is on this, so the thing, the shape that you're looking at with the little red dot for the vernal pool is this shape.
And you have to remember there's an existing cart path, so there's,
So this whole section that he's showing us up there isn't on here at all, it's over here.
Right.
Right, 'cause the only section we see on the plan is the one that the driveway runs through, which is this part. We only see this part. This whole section is not shown because it's out over here. As you can see, the edge of this, the closest point is the edge of the driveway, so it's off of here. So you also have to reorient about 180 degrees.
And then Laurel Brook. So, can you show me where Laurel Brook is on your plan? Compared to, are we 200 feet away?
Is that, no, that's a topo line. Oh, oh,
You see that there's a main brook right here?
yeah, but that's gonna be off the plan. Okay, so that
Are you sure?
runs through
right
this
over there.
shape. Yep, it runs right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it runs what's in here, that's why DP is saying something.
no, 'cause
Yeah.
this is the lot line ends here. The lot line ends before, this is the lot line, right here. Right there is this line. Right, so Laurel Brook is over here. Right, so on this map, Laurel Brook is not shown.
I'd like to see it.
It's
I don't
off
wanna
of
see
this
it
line.
conditioned. I think it's too close. I mean, I don't know that it's within 100 feet, but I think it's pretty close to 100.
Laurel Brook is out
Well,
here.
unless there's BVW around, well, it is within the BVW, right? Okay. All right, so Margaret, you can verify it for us. And also, did you look at
It's close.
the bank of Laurel Brook at all? Running
The
a,
bank, the bank, Pearl Brook.
yes.
No, where is it?
Like in the center of that BBW, on the left of the house, or left of the driveway. I want to make sure that we're not in the riverfront area.
All right, well,
Here's the topo map. It's over here, isn't it?
I'm looking at it on my phone,
Yeah, it comes back around.
and it's
We
running
think-
through. Can
If you
you,
zoom in more, I can point to it, but that does nobody on the Zoom any good.
or if you can go to Mass Mapper.
yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be within 200 feet of that at all. But I can verify that for you.
Well, if it crossed to here, this spot.
Oh, no, yeah, no,
It's
you are
200.
correct. It goes
It's
to here.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is its
assuming
closest
it's within
point.
the driveway. Probably shouldn't have looked at this. Steve,
Yeah.
could you please do me a favor and do Mass Mapper?
Mass map.
It's the new Oliver for 2022. Okay, so at least you got the DEP number. That's good. And we'll verify. I never heard.
There you go.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's-
Yep.
I can hardly see that with the screen like that.
No,
Yeah, that's not correct.
What?
That's not the same as the USGS map. Laurel Brook. Laurel Brook isn't on the, it's not on the side of, Laurel Brook starts up there.
Okay.
okay.
I think it's, I mean, I'll get the I'll get the official USGS map, but I think it's incorrect.
You
Okay.
don't think it's over there?
Well, I think there's an intermittent stream that used to be mapped through here that was incorrect because it went through the field.
Okay.
And I think they might have tied the intermittent stream. Let me pull the USGS map.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like a substantial stream because it's going to,
I have no
A
idea what
pond.
this looks like in the real world.
I'm surprised that it doesn't have a stream through it.
I think I have been here before.
Into what, over there?
Looking for a cemetery somewhere. There's one on this person's land. There's 24 of them in the town of Douglas.
Huh? Did you find all of them?
I found 24. If there's
Oh.
more, then I don't know about them. There's more, I don't know.
Okay, so Margaret, we'll need just to clarify, just in case you're within the 200, and then that, that potential vernal pool does it appears to have an associated BVW. So, just check that out for us since DP has brought it to our attention.
I think that you were gonna be out. We can't see it without seeing it on a plan.
Yeah, so I think,
We're trying to combine like three
this is a
different
public
maps.
hearing. Anybody in the audience have any questions or comments? 280U. Okay, seeing none. While Steve's working on that, if he
I
can,
would just ask, they confirm that where the wetlands line is on that back left corner where the septic system is, because if you compare this little point where the vernal pool is, it comes pretty close to the property line, and that's
Comes close to this property line.
correct.
Yeah, so it should be shown.
Yeah, because
the activities within 100 feet. So Margaret, did you hear Mark to confirm?
Extend that wetland line on the left-hand corner.
Yep.
Locate the vernal pool and document and the BVW associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to confirm we're outside Laurel Brook's 200-foot riverfront area.
Yep.
Provide push control shown on the plan. Go over all of DEP's comments, make sure there's nothing else.
Yeah, sounds perfect. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to continue. March 7th is good.
So moved.
Motion made by Art, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montminy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
KG Dudley, aye.
All right, we'll see you on the 7th. And
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Send Steve anything that you want to send him for us.
Blue.
Thanks. Okay. There's I have something to read. Uh-huh. Time is now 7:56 PM. New business, 7 PM, RDA public meeting, request for determination of applicability, 25 Huff Road, replacing and adding to existing dock. Stuart and Jeannie Snow. Town of Douglas, okay, this title of this public notice is save order before input. So Steve, we need to just double check what we have. It says save order before import as the title of the ad. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516. Public legal notice for public meeting, request for determination of applicability. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Stuart and Jean Snow on February 7th, 2022 at 7 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 25 Huff Road, Douglas, Mass., and the applicant is requesting permission to replace existing dock, adding 10 feet. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass., or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16th, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, the public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. Website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours before the meeting, at least. There was also another typo of a repeated sentence. Copies of the application may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission. What?
Yeah, I made those changes and put them on the website, the ones from last meeting. They must use.
Yep. Okay, and then there's like so the title's not correct, and then the second to last sentence has at least 48 hours repeated. And the website repeated. Okay. Is there anyone presenting for the RDA? Do you want to come up and tell the board, or you can stand right there, what your plan is? Steve has some pictures.
I have a lot of stuff in here, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
We're just gonna, we have a dock now that's falling apart, so we just want to replace it. We want to make it 10 feet longer, which would be what now, 42 feet? 42 feet. And then we want to put on the left of the dock, we want to put two 8-footers. So it's going to be on the left, in front of our home, just so we can sit besides having just the dock.
Okay, and name and address for the record, so the minute taker can get it. Name and address, please. Jean, name and address for the record.
Oh, 25 Huff Road.
Yeah, for the minute taker.
Oh, 25 Huff Road, Douglas, Mass.
The microphone, sorry.
Not Mike, the
The microphone. 25 Huff Road, Douglas, Mass.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's the minute taker, woman, so. So I guess we are looking for additional impacts, if any, from what you have existing there and how it's going to be installed.
Okay. Hi. I have a picture of the old dock. The old dock is right here. I don't know if you want to see that.
And Steve can pull up some pictures for us that he took on his site walk.
I've got the newspaper article. You need that?
Got that? Nope.
Got it, thank you.
I've got two of them. The little one, it came in, but I blew it up. I was having trouble with my copy machine, unfortunately.
That's okay.
Your pictures are up on the screen now.
Mostly red ink.
And this is a picture.
Thing for Valentine's.
So, do you want to look at the TV?
Yeah, that's in there, it's not.
See, my husband took the dock down already.
So this is,
That's the side it's going to go on. Our entry for our boat is right there.
Okay.
Oh,
That
that's
is
the
our
poles
old
for
boat
this
right
thing.
there, but,
Okay.
and the other side over there, that's the Laramies. The Laramies, that's their dock. They have a
Okay.
huge dock, but that's the
they're
Laramies.
gonna pull these poles out.
Yes,
Okay,
And I think their intention is to put something that's similar to the aluminum dock on this over here.
that's not ours. What you're pointing at over there, that's the Laramies.
But is that what you're going to put in, is something similar to that?
you
Yeah,
gonna-
something
oh,
similar
okay.
to that dock, absolutely.
okay.
Did they get, so did you get approval for the Chapter 91?
Do I have a what?
You're using this sheet, the Chapter 91 sheet. Did you apply to the state also?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think we did.
Oh,
I think this is the only thing we have, right?
This is an old plan.
oh, okay. This is the
This is
old,
the existing one, because this is a 32-foot dock. They want to put in a 42-foot dock?
yeah, add 10 feet. Okay,
Yeah, we're
so
gonna add
this
10
is
feet.
what was
Yeah, so it'll be 42.
existing. Oh, in 2010, you got a
Yep.
permit for this one. Okay.
Yep.
Confused.
So it's going to be a 42, and you wanted to add 8 feet to the
Okay.
side. Is that at the end or at the beginning?
At the very end on the left.
On the left, you want it to have like an L that comes out?
Correct.
Okay.
16 feet. 2 8-foot sections, I think she said.
Right.
I was thinking of them going like this, not like this.
They're gonna go that and then that.
Oh,
Oh, here's a drawing of what it's gonna look like.
That's okay.
so
That's the Webster Marina
So
that,
it doesn't go,
it just goes 10 feet and then out,
8-footers are side by side.
yeah.
So that you end up with like a little dock at the
Yeah,
end.
there was a lot, dock will go here, and then on this side
Yeah.
will be,
A little walk.
So did you submit a plan with the materials? Because I got a little confused with this one.
No, this helps.
That's the old one.
Okay.
That's the old one. This
That's
is
the
the
old
new
one.
one.
You just wanted me to see it?
I guess I just wanted you to see it.
Okay, what about the new stuff?
That's that one.
So the process, so we're going to remove the posts, we're going to put how many more posts in? Is
No
this
more
gonna be?
posts. It's gonna set on the ground.
Oh. Yep, explain it to me, so
This is what it's gonna look like, but it's a little bit shorter, show that.
That's what it's gonna look like.
But not quite as big. That's the only picture I could find to show you. It's gonna be shorter than that on the side part.
It's not gonna have this.
There's 2 of them, not 3 of them like that picture shows.
And these are the posts, I don't know if you need to see the posts
But it
that
has
go in
to-
the ground.
Right, it looks, but,
That's,
Yeah, they just sit on
Okay.
the ground.
and not
Right.
that, and not that.
not a bench.
I like the way you've noted it out. There's no umbrella, there's no.
No
I'd like to
bench.
put all those things on. All I want to do is put a couple of lounge chairs out there.
No, I like the way it's annotated, thank you.
So it's completely removable.
The one we're gonna get?
Yeah, the new one.
I don't know. Are we gonna be able to remove that? I
Yeah, but
know,
why would you?
I know
it
Laramie's
sits on
removed
these
theirs,
little-
but if we don't have to remove
That's
it,
on
to
these
show
little
that there's,
feet.
Yeah,
it's just
little,
gonna rest on the
It just
ground.
sits, okay.
Yeah, the
Yep.
foot-
There's no digging.
there's foot
Okay.
pads,
After those 6 posts
Yeah.
go, come out of the
no,
ground,
yeah,
Just get
no
driven in.
disturbance.
it all
Okay.
goes away.
Yep.
Okay. So we've got aluminum framing and polypropylene decking.
So this is all manufactured
This is the
before you get it,
newspaper.
right? You get it in?
okay, you have that, okay.
This is all pre-manufactured.
Oh, yeah, yeah. no,
Okay.
It's done, it's being done by Webster Marina, or?
Yep. And they just bring it out and they put it down.
Yeah, because the guy that came out and looked, he knew, because they put in Laramie's a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So we knew that, you know, that ours.
So that they're not cutting or constructing or
No,
putting,
no.
it's just, they
It's all
drop it in.
prefabbed outside.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
Is this for us to keep for the record? This,
yeah, they can keep that, right?
Yes.
well, I'll just keep a copy, because nothing was submitted for the new. You gave me the old design.
So what do we have to do now?
If I keep
We have
this,
it.
this is good.
Well, just take it.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, board, any questions?
Can I see that?
Yeah, yeah, and if you could just pass that back around to me eventually.
It was a better picture on my, I might have it on my
That's okay.
iPad. I told you, I was having trouble with my copy machine, and it came out in red.
Yeah,
It
Lonely
was
wants to use red ink today,
supposed- It
so
was supposed to be black.
I understand.
I just had a heck of a time with my copy machine. I'm lucky I got that.
We can still read it.
Yeah, it's just for the record, for record keeping. So it's,
I have a copy of everything they're going to use, if you need to see that.
No, they don't.
no,
So there's like hinges in between the sections? Is that the way this one works?
I think they just sit there and
Yeah,
that's it.
but it can,
yeah, there's
but you can fold it.
gangway hinge and a, thought I saw another
familiar
hinge.
with it.
Oh, RS7 hinge.
Aluminum
Not sure what
jaw.
that is. All
Yeah.
right, so it's 4 foot wide, right?
Until
I
you
think
do
it's
the
a
end.
little bigger than 4 foot, he said.
No.
It is 4? Okay.
3, 6, 16, 16, and a 10. 42, right? 42 by 4, 4 foot by 42, and then 16 by 8, 8 by 16?
Yeah.
8 foot by.
So it's like an L.
16. Yeah, so Steve, when we're writing up the negative, it would be a 4 foot by 42 foot with an 8 foot by 16 foot side piece,
Okay.
just in case you end up making it bigger. So we're giving you permission to do the
Oh,
size.
okay.
Okay?
I don't think we'll make it much bigger.
I don't think
We
we'll
need some room to swim on, you know?
It goes like 2 4-foots together. This is 8 this way. This is 16.
Yeah, but you've already included that in the 42-foot long section.
No, I didn't. This is one piece,
Yep.
and this is one piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 4 by
What's the
42.
dimensions of this square?
4 by 42, 4 by 8.
No, this one's 8 by 8, and then this should be 8.
It's 12 by 8.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can't,
Okay, thank
you can
you.
either have it one way or the other.
No, wait, that was good.
It's
Thank
like
you.
being added on to the dock, you know?
I didn't want you to add that section twice.
Okay, it's an 8 by 8 side piece.
Yes.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to issue a negative with the drawing as submitted for the removal of the post and for the installation of the new dock with no excavation.
With the sizes we just talked about. Yeah, so moved.
Motion made by Art, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Mutman, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Bonjam, aye.
KD Dudley, aye.
Okay, good luck. Hopefully the ice will
So what do we do
thaw.
now?
Steve will prepare something for you, but you can proceed.
Okay.
Yeah. So good luck.
So you're gonna keep
You
all
want to
that
keep?
stuff? You
No,
can keep it if you
no,
want.
we don't need, I don't need all this.
Take it, sir.
Here, we can just put that back along. I just want this little sketch.
You just want that special.
Yeah.
It's 232 square feet.
Okay, Steve, 232 square feet. Okay, yeah,
We're good to go?
have fun. Yep, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you
night.
very much.
Thank you. Have,
You hear that, Steve?
I did.
Okay.
Thank you. Want me to recap it?
no. I'm gonna put the sketch in the to be signed, or the mail.
Well, thank you. I mean, I've been working with them for 2 weeks, so. Tell them
Thank you.
Whenever they could.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't think you want to admit that, Steve.
Okay, one other mail item, and then we can think about if we want to go or we want to stay. So we have a notice of intent, what? To convert, notice of intent to convert to other use under Mass General Law, Chapter 61A, Section 14, property of Susan Mazinski, land off of 45 Oak Street, Assessor's Map, Parcel ID 132-5. Giving notice pursuant to the provisions of Section 14, Chapter 61A of my intent to convert my land situated off of 45 Oak Street for solar use. The location and acreage of the parcel of land intended for conversion is shown on Exhibit A attached hereto and made part of hereof. Said premises is a portion of the land on the deed recorded. Premises totals approximately 31 acres and is to be leased for commercial use pursuant to a 20-year lease, including options to extend the term between the landowners, Susan Mazinski and BWC White and Reservoir LLC, a developer of solar generating facilities. Susan Mazinski will continue to use the balance of the land for agricultural and horticultural use, and therefore the balance shall remain under 61A classification. Steve, we have to do what, or is this just a notice, a required notification?
I think it's just a required notification. They're taking it out of 61. They send them to all the different departments.
Okay.
I don't think the town's asking if right of first refusal. I don't see anything on that.
Right, because it's not being sold, so,
Oh, that's valid, because my
Yeah.
follow-up question would be to go to open space yet.
yeah, no, I think it's just a required notification, and now they
They're
do
not
it
selling it.
internally, yeah,
a
for
lease.
the, now she doesn't get the tax incentive. Okay, if we don't, we'll just acknowledge that we received the notice.
So no action is required by
Yeah,
us.
I don't believe so.
read
Wasn't
it,
even
it
on
was
the
very nice.
agenda. So what do we want to do, Ford?
Something involving minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
want to
Okay, why don't we do the two that Art has reviewed?
At least the two, I don't know if anybody else has some, but on the minute,
No, I wait until the day before today.
If I just got here. Well, I was with Steve.
You were busy.
Yeah, I was busy.
I did the 12/6 and January 3rd minutes, and they both look okay. They were in a packet that Steve had provided to us last time,
Okay.
and on the chart, they're on
But
the
there should be, everyone, we did it the
Pending
entire
list.
chart, and minutes should be in everyone's package again.
Yeah, they're in there again, but the thing is, nobody gets to see those till tonight, whatever you put in the packet, so
Yeah.
I went
You could
by,
pick them up, but.
well,
yeah.
I went by the old one, and it's in the two that I took a look at were in the pending section.
Okay.
Yeah, everything in gray should be from the same thing you had last meeting, except for January 3rd was added to this meeting.
Right, so,
This one's a planning board meeting.
No, yeah.
yeah, well, we said that we were good with our portion of it, but there were issues with some of the other ones, and I don't know what got corrected and what didn't. There were names missing on some.
Well, those, yeah, so the ones that you guys corrected and approved with name changes that we made are the ones, everything in white. Everything in gray, you officially have not voted to approve.
Right, and
Okay.
like I know on October 14th, there were names missing. Actually, on October, no, that wasn't October 14th.
That was October 14th, and then we had.
October
Concom
14th
meeting.
was the joint one, wasn't it?
Correct. We adjourned in this,
Right.
after the first paragraph.
Right. So October 14th is no big deal for us.
No.
I'm
You
okay.
just you just haven't officially approved it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm prepared to hear some oceans.
I know.
But like on October 18th, there was a missing name. That's why we didn't approve that one. On November 1st, there was missing, there was a missing portion, there was a name problem on that one as well, but there was also some of the Shore Road stuff was missing.
Yeah, I don't want to, so in their additional, are we talking about October 14th or am I on another planet?
No, I wasn't talking about October 14th.
14th. You aren't. Okay, never mind then.
Oh, no, that was the joint one.
I
Yeah,
am talking about the
Yeah.
joint one because.
yeah, we should put that to bed.
Okay. Yes.
So the only thing that we care about on this is this one paragraph. It's the only thing we care about on the whole. 'Cause
That's
we
right.
adjourned here,
Right.
which I think is well documented.
We left.
Yes, yep, we did. My only issue is, so it's listed on their agenda as the decommissioning fund agreement.
God.
Do we don't care that they have a different title for it? I don't know why it's the decommissioning fund agreement, but fine.
I don't either.
I think.
And then we all wanted to take a site walk, which is correct. And then it says board keeping on additional business going forward until issues are resolved. Eve sent the draft for the decommissioning fund agreement to town council, is waiting to hear back, which is great. I'm glad that they have a decommissioning fund agreement to the town. Was that the whole conversation? Was we just hung out and we agreed that there should be a site walk, and once we saw that planning wanted to take a sidewalk, we decided we could, okay, great. Then we can approve our portion of October 14th.
Right.
All right, I make a motion to approve our portion of the October 14th planning board meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Katie Gray, seconded by Art. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Abstain.
Yeah, Mark was not there.
Mark,
Abstain?
KG Dudley, aye.
and I'm going to abstain.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so now are you on October 18th?
Right?
Okay, on
Okay.
October 18th, we were missing a name
Well, where?
Yeah, I forget which one.
Elizabeth with G&H.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why we didn't approve it last time.
Oh, that was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if there was.
It
Well,
was-
then they called G&H a number of different things, and now we've just boiled
Right.
down to G&H.
It was that 55 Lakeshore,
Oh,
It's still not in there.
it's still missing.
and this one,
I know the.
But you know, I know the lady we're talking about, I just
For
don't
sure.
know her name.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Garrier and Holland.
That's right.
so-
Right.
So that's why I skipped over that one.
Because this
Yeah.
one, they just call it G&H, which might be safer, but it doesn't tell you really what the name of the company is.
Her name is M-A-I-N.
Right?
Her name is M-A-I-N-I-N-I.
Okay.
M-A-I-N-I-N-I,
Minini?
yeah.
So,
M-A-I-N-I-N-I.
Okay, so we
I'll
got,
let that in.
That's for Elizabeth.
okay. Yep,
that's, yes.
Yeah,
and do we want to call it G&H?
yeah, probably.
I would,
No,
My-
Jerry and Helen.
Oh, if we know the exact
my
one, let's put
preference
it
would
in.
be to call it by their name, and then, like, if you used the full name once and
time,
wanted to call
yes.
them G&H thereafter, you could.
Yeah.
But this is the only naming of that company. It should be
Yeah,
the full
that
name.
makes
You'd
sense.
never be able to look it up
So
based on just
Steve,
the
we'll
G&H.
just, we'll revise that also. Thank you.
Anywhere it's G&H, I'll add Jerry Helen.
I think it's just,
Oh,
also look for other names that have nothing.
yeah, that's the thing, like July 12th definitely has the name incorrect. On 8:40, but, okay, so I'll entertain a motion, to approve with amended.
Oh. Yeah, I make a
Sure.
motion to approve October 18th, 2021 minutes as amended with the last name, Elizabeth's last name added, and the correction on the name of G&H, spelling it out fully.
Okay, motion made,
Second.
seconded by Art, all those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Buckley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Wonderman abstaining.
KG Dudley, aye.
Tracy Sharkey abstain. Okay,
Okay.
and then which one?
November 1st.
No, well,
I am
Art, you
looking at
had-
November 1st.
November 1st, I had something too. There was,
The DEP number, I'll add that to 10.
November 1st, there was a missing section when we talked about 100 Davis Street.
That goes to David Street, is that the one?
there was a missing section?
Yeah, I didn't. Hold on a second.
Stephanie has an interesting way of spelling her name.
At 7:42, we talked about 100 Davis Street. Oh, here, it's in this one now.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay, but we were supposed to continue it to 12/6. And it's not on there.
Oh, you're saying it's not on here at all, because I agree that I'm not seeing it.
Right.
What date?
Notice of intent, 100 David Street, old business item number 6.
November 1st, Mark?
Yeah.
Yep,
We talked about continuing it into December 6th meeting, but that's missing.
yep, it just says, Mark Allen with Allen Engineering joined the meeting remotely to share updated plans, and then it just cuts off. It doesn't say what we did with it.
Oh,
Steve, do you
so
follow?
it was continued.
Yeah,
I have it right here.
but it's not in the minute.
Yeah, so we need to add that. Just
Yeah.
add a sentence.
You see what I'm talking about, Steve?
I do, right there,
No, it's
number
Stephanie.
6, yep, continue to 12/6.
Yeah. It was at 7:42 PM if you want to make a note.
Oh, 7:42.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
that's
Good
why,
one, yes.
that's why I didn't, I had a problem with that one.
And then number 10, I'll add the DEP number.
Yeah,
Okay.
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 I'll entertain a motion.
That was 11-1. I move to accept the 11-1 minutes as amended.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Wondermine.
KG Dudley, aye.
Tracy Sharkey abstain.
Okay, then I did do 12-6 and 1-3, and I'm okay with those.
Entertain a motion.
Do we have to do them individually?
No?
Okay. I move to accept the minutes as submitted for the meeting of December 6th and the meeting of January 3rd.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
seconded by Eric. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Montverde, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Wondermine.
KG Dudley, aye.
Tracy Sharkey, the number 15 for December 6th, is that still missing
15.
the engineering firm for 115?
Deere and Hanlon.
Oh, I thought it was Margaret was doing that. On the back, do you see the blank?
I do, actually. Yeah, Steve,
Yep.
if you go to number 15 on December 6th,
Yeah, it starts with Evangeline.
I think we have it.
Oh, it starts there.
Yeah.
The engineer.
See, I had period.
You had period?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it just stopped there, and I didn't know what that was.
No, there's a highlighted blank.
Yeah, but I don't know that that was, why is that there?
To name the person that was presenting,
Right. Who presented that property?
because they're calling the engineer.
It's Alpha Engineering.
Oh,
Who is it?
Alpha.
Alpha, is that his name? Alpha Engineering?
Okay, yes. Could you spell that for me, unless we have it somewhere else?
I don't have it somewhere, but I'll put it in there.
Okay.
Okay.
And December 6th, under 9, Todd Morris from Beals and Thomas, did we,
That was the question mark one?
yeah, is that Todd Morris?
I don't know if that's the correct spelling,
I'll check that too.
Okay,
but
alright,
they had it.
motion passes.
The,
The approval with some minor edits that Steve's going to take care of for names.
The other pending one we had, I'm not sure who it was, someone else on the board was going to review it, because I was at a
Grace.
wedding, and
That
so
was July 12th.
July 12th, right. So
Oh, do we still have that one?
Yeah.
we didn't
Oh,
actually
okay.
have a vote on that.
I was too worried about April.
That's in everyone's package.
I
Oh, is it?
believe you. I'm looking right at
I
it, yeah.
wasn't there, so,
No, you weren't
Yep, says absent.
correctly assessed.
oh yeah, that's right on the first one.
Yeah, I might have a chance to read this in April.
What?
In April?
What are you talking about? So again, number 5, Gary and Howland, we need to change to put
Gary, you're
their,
in Holland, and it's
To put their
Elizabeth. She
name.
has no last name.
and then Elizabeth
Kendra got a last name.
Manini,
Look at her go.
Maini. We need-
M-I-M-I-I. From Gary,
About
you're in
22 U Street, that wasn't 22, right? It was
Holland. 55 Lakeshore. Oh,
200 something, wasn't it?
280? The one we were just talking about?
280.
Tonight's
No, it wouldn't
280.
have been, no, it wouldn't have been that.
This is a
long
different
ago.
one.
There's been a lot of U streets.
Yeah,
It's a busy
let me
street.
just see. I don't think it was 22, but maybe. You.
Wow, this is a very loose documentation of the Shore Road washout.
Do you want to make some more media remarks?
I mean, at this point, it's hard to like recall from memory what happened on July 12th.
Okay, well, we have a
And this
video.
does accurately record everyone who was present. Cliff did talk about the plan to fix the culvert. And Lawrence Cook talked about culvert responsibility, and I wanted the owner of the private road. And then Cliff, and that's roughly how I remember it, is Cliff said they were gonna go fix it. And because that's why, because I had the temporary order at that point. This is before they did any of the work, so you know what, the conversation was probably actually pretty short, because we didn't get into the arguments that we had later yet.
Afterwards, that they replaced it with.
It's after they replaced it that we all had so much outrage.
Smaller conduit.
At this point, everybody was just talking about how their basements were flooded, and we were all friends still.
Yeah, that ended.
And that ended after this, yes, no, at this point, that actually probably was a short conversation. Hey, the whole road's flooded, we're all flooded, do something. Okay.
And then 22 U Street, and board request to go to Board of Health for an approved plan for the septic. Yeah,
You don't think
Yeah.
it was 22?
I don't think it was 22.
Does anybody have notes from July 12th?
I do not.
Take notes. I should have checked. Can't find it though.
Because we don't have, there's no U Street, like, in the minutes.
We can just strike that.
I don't know about
I
that.
think Steve wants to go home too.
I'm back.
I'm not sure.
22.
Which number is this?
They're looking for if there was anything on U Street at that July 12th meeting.
At the end of the meeting, after 55 Lake Shore
How
Drive,
close to the end of the meeting?
Steve was talking.
These are my notes from
is
July
Elizabeth.
12th
Yeah?
regarding Shore Road, which isn't mentioned in the meeting minutes. Emergency order issued to repair culvert under road that is blocked, work not done. Lawrence Cook, solar property rep, blockage on opposite side of road, he says. Van Reed at Douglas Properties, he will hire a contractor to do the work and pay for it, and will pay for the pipe. Cook will contact Miller regarding access. Cook and Van Reed will pay for and do the work. Miller didn't seem open to helping with payment.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the only thing we're missing in here is Cliff. It says Cliff spoke, or the president of the meeting spoke about the plan to fix the culvert. I just didn't know that he agreed to pay for it and hire the contractor.
He did end up paying for it, but somebody,
did.
but the Millers had a friend put it in, I think.
But at the time of the July 12th,
We didn't know
Cliff
that.
was going to do the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. You will hire a contractor to do the work and pay
That's what I'm
for
trying to
it.
figure out, because I think this is you reading the ad.
There's the plan folder is empty.
There's a plan folder that is empty.
There's no photo video.
And there was nothing in the notes about there being an emergency order issue, was there?
Just speaking for myself, when I opened the folder, did it get the DMP number? Yes. And when I opened the folder that says photo video, am I doing it wrong? No. Yeah.
No, I don't see it.
Zoom in on that. I can't.
I'm sorry, it's painful to listen to our own voices.
I know.
It's so bad.
For the record, my name is Jim Dobbin, hearing representing the applicant, Lynn Moore.
Yeah.
Is that the 22 U Street?
I have nothing.
I thought
lined
Lloyd
up
Moran
for
was
22
the
years.
guy on 175 Southwest Main.
He is, Lloyd
Yeah.
Moore.
Okay, so I'm too far.
Yes. It's right before
Mark,
that.
you don't have anything on U Street
I
either?
have nothing about U Street in my notes.
Well, maybe Steve's, you don't either, Eric?
Did we talk about it before 175? We said we
Yeah,
talked-
before 175, yeah.
Maybe Steve's right.
Yeah, correct. I personally,
This is so
Okay,
Elizabeth.
okay.
Maybe you strike it.
Let's strike the Steve requesting, asking the board about 22U.
there's areas of it that are probably about it. So everything's shown on the plan. We want to do an alternative analysis type of thing, nothing, not riverfront, but an alternatives to what's proposed here as far as the massive amount of grading.
Nope, that's 55.
I don't think you're gonna find it.
Nope.
Mark, would you like to edit that first paragraph?
Nope, that's still
To
55.
add the emergency order?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So how would you like it to read?
I don't know.
Okay. I literally wasn't here, so.
I know, I understand. I would start it out by saying an emergency order was issued to repair the culvert under Shore Road that is blocked in the area of 119.
Okay.
After the sentence that says Cliff Van Reed, Douglas Properties, present at meeting, spoke about the plan to fix the culvert, I would add, Mr. Van Reed stated that he will hire a contractor to do the work and pay for it.
So U Street was not on the agenda.
Okay, I don't know.
And then I would say that
I can't,
okay.
can't remember. I'm just gonna strike it out. Okay, right.
Lawrence Cook stated that he will contact the Millers regarding access. And that's probably it.
Steve, do you want me to give you my sheet? Or did you hear all that?
Steve?
I'll just give him my sheet. All right, let's hold the July 12th. And then, we're in good shape?
Yeah, I was going to ask Steve, what's going on with August and September?
They're working on it.
Yeah.
He's not even on mute, is
August
he?
2nd, August 16th, September 13th. We don't have any.
2021?
Yeah, 21. We're getting 8, 9 months out again.
Yeah.
For some reason, we're attacking the ones that are more recent instead of the older ones.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what that is.
I mean, I appreciate getting them done, but the further out you get, the harder it is to.
Oh, for sure.
The recall is not
The recall's
automatic.
not there. The minutes, the notes you take can't put everything in there, you know?
Hey, Steve?
Steve's gone home.
Steve might have left.
I understand.
All right, I've been on mute the whole time, sorry.
Wow, he was talking away.
We had a great time.
Talking away, I'm saying yes, I am on mute. Oh. What I said before was that I watched the video of what Mark said at this meeting verbatim and might that was into the meeting minutes, but I can certainly take your copy.
Okay, I'll just drop it off to you.
And then, yeah, I asked at the meeting about August and September's meeting minutes are, and I'll ask her again tomorrow.
I appreciate it.
I keep pushing for those. I don't know why they skipped.
Because they're probably so hard to do.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they're a pain in the neck. I know, I don't want to watch.
But if we could get these done, we could actually be semi-up to date.
Yeah, we're
That'd
getting
be
close.
nice.
We're almost there, I think. So Steve, could we get those 3 sets of meeting minutes, the 2nd, the 16th, and the 13th, in 1 month by our next meeting?
I'll let Jen know tomorrow.
And not do the 24th or today?
Right, let's catch up.
Yeah, let's get the older ones.
Yeah,
If you approve the 12th, those are only 3 outstanding ones.
Right.
no, not yet.
We're not approving 12th, though.
Oh.
So then we'll have 6.
So
And then we'll have
what do
3.
we need on the 12th to get it done?
We need to edit that first paragraph to add in what Mark's comments were and remove the,
22 U
are
Street.
you trying
See
to
the
say?
finished product.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would prefer that,
That's a lot of verbatim that you want in there, so
yeah,
it's not just adding a name.
right, or deleting stuff.
Technical data.
So, yeah, we'll have 6 to do next time. 6 will be owed. Yeah, so if you could do the oldest ones would be great.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, board? Steve, anything else?
I think, Eric, do you want to bring up what we talked about, or do you want to wait until you can get more information?
I guess I could bring it up. I've been trying to plan something. I volunteered for the Heritage Quarter, Blackstone Heritage Quarter, and they want to do like a 50th anniversary, like ZAP cleanup throughout the Blackstone Valley.
Nice.
So they want every town to kind of do something. So she reached out to me for like Douglas, if we could kind of plan something. She said the Millville Conservation Commission kind of hosts their own town cleanup, I guess, every year. So I've been trying to contact them to see what they do. But
Yeah.
I think, they were planning to do it like in August. So I thought maybe we could start like talking about it and see.
So, in my experience on open space used to do the cleanups when we got enough organization together. And they'd usually target March, April, or fall when the leaves are off the trees and you can see most of the garbage.
Yeah.
So that's typically like why August wasn't a time frame. But if I know that Zap the Blackstone likes to do the August time frame because you can get in the water.
Yes.
So it really depends what your target areas are.
yeah.
But if your target areas are waterways, there's a lot of spaces, my water testing site along the Mumford underneath the Arch Bridgeway off that street's like a big area that could be cleaned up. The whole area next to not the wastewater treatment plant side, but like North Street side
Yep.
could get cleaned up to the Mumford River. I don't know what the area behind the ballpark is like, but there's different sections that are accessible that would be a good idea. So I think that that's an absolutely worthwhile effort. I think it would be great to do it as part of Zap the Blackstone.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I suggested contacting Boy Scouts, because sometimes, they can get badges for that, maybe an
Yep.
Eagle Scout can help spearhead it, and then the highway, usually they pick areas
Highway
that are
depart-
accessible. They pick up the bags, so there's areas that are accessible, people can pull over, you don't want to put it in a high traffic area, people are going to get hit. And then the areas are, they're not, it's not, brick groceries and everything else, that's an area that is accessible for people to get to.
Yeah, you typically want to organize with highway department to pick the bags up, and you absolutely need to let transfer department know.
Yeah.
So we have overwhelmed them more than once.
Okay.
And also, so I know we talked about in the past, sending out flyer notifications, like kind of saying what we do with like the tax bills. So kind of piggybacking the notice with a mailer that's already going out. I wonder if we could team up. Steve, could you maybe find out if we can team up with the clerk or somebody, or the tax collector, for something that's going out to all of the, the townspeople around that time. And then maybe do the targeted sections of the meetups. So think about where you want to have people meet up, and then you can kind of put that on the flyer of the time and date, and people can put it on their fridge and
But I
save
mean-
the date, kind of like a save the date.
For sure, if you want to collaborate, I only recommend open space because I assume it's the same people and they've done it before. It's been a while, so Lisa Brzezinski, Sue Perkins are both on the, I'm assuming are still on that board still. And they've done several of them in the past. I think they have like checklists of like, oh, you gotta have bags, you gotta have gloves, you gotta have this, like that kind of stuff. And I know that usually we advertise on the social media. Because the mailer is great, but it doesn't stick in people's heads as much.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it depends on the timing of the mailer, and then like, if somebody gets it on a Thursday and it's on a Saturday, they probably remember.
Maybe.
Probably, if they really want to.
But yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is great.
Okay. So what should be like the next step? Should we just put it on the next discussion, next meeting? And
Yep, and I think that we should propose locations
yeah, that's something we gotta,
and a date.
okay.
All right, awesome, we're on board. Steve, anything else?
Okay.
Board? I'll entertain a motion.
I move to adjourn at 8:44.
Oh,
Second.
motion made by Art, second by Mike, all those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monk, yeah.
Mark Mungimai.
Katie Dudley, aye.
And Mike.
Mike Rocco, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.